So I picked up the traditional Latino way. Hey, work. You know, you want something, you work for it. So just worked my way eventually into the corporate world. And I worked for a company, really good company. A great future with them, you know, getting paid really good, benefits, etc. A dream to some people.
A dream.
You know? And then, you know, I think life kind of just hit me in a certain point where I was told to have to work certain times and certain days now. And I'm like, that's not I'm not next up for that, you know?
What do they tell you? Let's be specific, bro. Like what you showed up on what day and they told you?
So, you know, I probably showed up like, I don't remember exactly what day, but let's say it was the beginning of the week. You know, like, hey man, starting on this day, which was going to be a Saturday, you're going to have to start working these days.
Which was Saturdays.
Which was Saturdays. And I had a schedule Monday through Friday, like 6 to 3:30. I don't remember exactly. Right. And I was told I had to start working Saturdays. And I was like, bro, those are the only days that I feel like alive, you know, Saturday, Sunday, which is cliche because it's the weekend, but whatever.
Right.
I mean, for the age that I was at that time, I was maybe 24, 25, right. I think. And yeah, bro, I was like, no, like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So, and it was in the same process of me purchasing a home. I was going to purchase my first home. It was June of 2019, I believe, where I was going to buy my home. I was in escrow, everything, you know, I did everything the way we were supposed to do.
Escrow,
I was in escrow. Yeah. And I did everything I felt like I needed to do that I was told.
In that corporate office?
Just in life, up to that point.
Oh, okay.
You know, I saved my money. I had good credit. I had savings. You know, I had like a family behind me supporting me for it. And yeah, man, I went through it, saw a bunch of houses and put a bunch of offers in. You know how the market is. It's like 10 offers within a span of like 2 days that it's been open for. You know, it's been on the market, whatever. Right. So, yeah, bro, I was on the last week of escrow while dealing with, hey, you're going to have to start working Saturdays. And I didn't really have an option. I was like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not next up for that. There's other, you know, people in that position that they can take it.
Yeah, that they're barely coming in. They should be able to work
like
Saturday.
I already had seniority in there. And I was like, nah, like, it clicked in my head. I was like, no, screw that. I know what I'm worth. I'm not worth working a Saturday. Right. You guys aren't worth a Saturday work. You know, like, it wasn't, you know, all while I was, like I said, purchasing a home. I was in the last week of escrow. So we were closing the escrow that week. I was going to be a new homeowner. And I got a call. It was Tuesday, bro. I got a call. They're like, hey, the bank called. Like, hey, it's not going through. I was like, what do you mean? We're closing on Friday. We have a few days to close. Like, I paid for the inspections. I paid for the appraisal. I paid for everything already. I had people go out, look for the house. You know, everything. Everything I needed to do, I did.
Yeah.
To what I thought was the way to do something.
Right.
And yeah, bro, like, it just, they called and like, nah, it's not going, bro. Because the house was appraised lower than what I was purchasing the home for. So to the bank, because of the specific bank loan I was getting, they're like, nah, it has to be at what it's worth or under. Because to the bank, it was too much risk. I'm a first-time buyer. Right. You know, and then the homeowner was like, nah, bro, like, I can't go lower because I just remodeled the whole kitchen. So I need to make my money, you know? And I respect that from a business standpoint. And so they're like, the bank's like, you can still get the home, but you got to put up the difference. And at that point, I was, nah, bro.
The difference was mad big.
It wasn't, I mean, you know, few grand, like maybe in the 10,000s or whatever. But I felt wrong for wanting to do that because in order to purchase a home, you need to have, for your down payment, the money needs to be sitting in a bank account for like X amount of time. Right. And I don't keep my money in the bank like that. As far as that much money in the bank, I don't. Yeah. I just was told it wasn't safe to do. Right. You know, so what I'd had to do is I had to dip into my mom's 401k, use her money as a deposit, pay her the money, and it became a mess, bro. Right. I felt so guilty, like pulling my mom into this. Yeah. To have to use her 401k that she's worked for so hard, whether it was security and the money was gonna go back, but she had to ask for a loan on herself to use that. So I was like, bro, I can't do this to my mom. Right. So then it came to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it. I let the house go. I got my money back. And then as soon as I got the money back, I gave it to my mom. I was like, pay that loan. Because we're already having to pay like money on it. Yeah. So yeah, bro, it was devastating. It sucked. Fuck. It sucked. All this during the time I was already in barber school. Okay. I had put myself already through barber school. I don't know what came in. Maybe it was another life situation that eventually I was like, you know what? I'm going to start cutting hair. Yeah. And did it. So that's kind of how I got into becoming. Well, I guess maybe I have to maybe even backtrack you more.
Okay.
Right? I know it might be confusing, but so that's kind of how I started into like, you know what? That's where the I don't fuck it, I'm doing it.
Right.
Attitude came in.
Okay.
That's when it clicked in my head where I was like, you know what? Nah. That's that moment.
Okay. Perfect.
So
now let's roll back.
Let's roll it back more. So I was working at a dental lab. Yeah, it was weird, bro. I don't know. I've done so much in my life, but at this point, I was working at a dental lab, and I don't know if I came across a video. I think it may have been a video on YouTube, mm-hmm. and it was a video of like knowing how to cut hair, mm-hmm. and at that point, there wasn't so many barbers like promoting themselves on YouTube or like showing their cuts or how they do certain services or what machines they use or what techniques. It wasn't really too much. So I think that's why it grabbed my attention at that point. Mm. I had never cut hair before that.
You had never seen anybody cut
hair? Never seen anyone cut hair other than me going to the barbershop and getting a haircut. Right. And then I would refrain back to like, you know what? I don't like the feeling I get when I'm in the barbershop. Like, I just didn't like my haircuts. I didn't like the conversation. I didn't like the environment. Like, it was just, depending on what barbershop, I was bouncing around. You know, right. I had multiple barbers. And so it never became something where it became something that I was like, you know what? Nah. So I was working at the dental lab. I seen that video. I bought my first pair of clippers, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna. I know, I've never liked cheap things.
Right.
Not to say I'm materialistic or anything. I don't like I wasn't gonna go to Walmart or Ross and get clippers. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna do something, I've always been like that. I'm gonna do it the right way. You know, if I'm going to play soccer, I'm going to get some good shoes that I feel comfortable that fit my feet for what I need to do. So it went back to that. So with barbering, my first pair of clippers was Andes Masters, and they're corded. So they had a cord that you had to plug into the wall. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people don't use it, but it's still around. So I was like, I'm getting it. So I started getting that. And eventually I started building a kit, like a barber kit. I had trimmers, shavers, and I was just cutting my own hair.
And this was like way back, like way before?
Yeah, this was way before... I was in the corporate world.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I remember taking a photo of it. I was at work and I had gone, I don't know where I got them, maybe eBay, I think. But they were like, new, had a box, everything. So I was like, no, these are going to be it. And I took a photo while I was at my station at the dental lab. And I forgot what the post was. I'm sure I still have it, but it's probably archived. Uh-huh. So, yeah, bro. Yeah, like... That was that moment where I was like, I'm going to start cutting hair.
Where you knew you were going to cut hair?
I knew I was going to cut hair. Or I thought I knew. I knew I was going to start cutting my hair.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one would get my hair how I wanted it. Like, yeah, it was clean. It was a dope fade or whatever. But I was like, I liked having long hair on top, typically at that point. Uh-huh. So my hair defined me at that point. So I was like, nah, screw that. I'm going to start cutting my own. I started cutting my own hair. Eventually, my brother let me cut his hair. And then my dad let me cut his hair. And then it wasn't nothing consistent, though. It was just like every now and then I had a barber kit, I'd pop it out, do some things. I ended up leaving I just never picked up a clipper again, other than just myself when I needed one or whatever. So I got a new job. I started working at CarMax, selling cars.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. It was all over the place, bro. And all this, I had people around me that I can cut people's hair. I just never wanted to do it. I picked up a clipper for myself, not for anyone else.
Right.
So it became, at CarMax, one of my buddies, he let me cut his hair. He's like, hey, bro, cut my hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, I feel like this is something that you get told when you're in high school. Like, hey, homie, you got me? And I'm like, dang, I feel like a kid again. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm down. I got you.
Yeah.
Knowing I probably wasn't going to do a good job. But I'm always the type to give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, and it was decent. It was a decent haircut. And then I told my buddy at that time, he's still actually one of my really close friends to this day, that I really wanted to cut hair. He's like, bro, you should do it. But because of the schedule that I had at CarMax, it didn't allow me to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was all over the place, bro. I never...
had a consistent schedule.
At any point. And then I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I like the feeling that I got when I was cutting my buddy's hair, because we would just sit down and have a conversation. Baby mama drama that he had, or... just life shit. So that it hooked me, bro. That connection hooked me because I feel like I'm a people pleaser. So I always like to feel like I'm helping people in some way.
Yeah.
So maybe if them maybe at that point when my buddy was talking to me and he was venting to me,
You're
maybe
like,
that's
I'm doing something.
Yeah, and it filled something in me, you know, like it. I was like, dang, like I feel kind of passionate about being here in this moment with him. Like this is dope, you know. So that's where the passion I feel maybe grew, you know. And I don't think I've ever told you that.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever told you that.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I've really ever spoken about it. I don't think he knows that this conversation, that moment became this for me, or what it is. You know, maybe it had some type of effect on it. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, yeah, bro. So at that point, I was like, bro, I really want to go. I want to do barbering, but I need to find a way that I can still make money and pay my rent.
And then kind of pick up barbering
on the side. So I looked into it. There was programs, and I got into an apprentice program. And I went into the school, and they're like, hey, well, you need a mentor. That you need to work under someone licensed. And there's this cat I was following around on social media. When I followed him, he was like still in barber school. But I don't know, something about him drew me to him, like his energy, his vibe,
his personality and shit.
Yeah, and I didn't even know the kid. I didn't know him, dude. He's ex-military. You know, he was out of the army, so he was in school, and I only knew that. I feel like I knew the kid, and I didn't even know. I've never spoken to him because of his social media. Fuck, bro. I'm telling you, like you feel like you're friends with somebody, and you don't know them.
You actually don't know them.
So I was like, you know what? I really want to be around this person. You know, and it was probably the best thing I could have done at that moment. Yeah.
And so he was your mentor?
Yeah. So he came about being my mentor. He was cutting in Costa Mesa. So his haircuts, I think, were like $30 at the time. And this was like 2 years ago. So haircuts, $30 is pricey, bro. Right. For at that point in time, at least for me. So I went on one of my days off when I was working at CarMax. I got a haircut with this dude. And he was already, he's already out of barber school, working at a shop. He jumped around multiple times. I think he was at American Barbershop in Santa Ana, and then he moved to Costa Mesa. And I all while this was happening in his life, I was following it.
Where
he was going, or like what was going on in his life. So it was a trip because he was doing really good at Santa Ana, and then from what I saw on social media, his buddy opened up a shop, and he went over there to take that leap to help him build that shop up and eventually build himself up.
Right.
That's what I took from what he was posting. It may not have been that way, but that's what I took from him. Like, oh man, this fool's gonna go over here, help his buddy out. He's gonna grow, because he went up on prices. So I was like, dang, like this fool can do it, you know? And yeah, dude. So I went, got a haircut with him, sat down, started talking, just had a sick conversation. Nothing too personal, not too opening or whatever, but it was a good conversation. Yeah, it was a good conversation. So yeah, bro. And then I mentioned to him like, oh, dude, I cut hair. I would love to eventually become, like, work under somebody and grow. So that's kind of how I threw it in there, because I knew at one point I wanted him to be my mentor. To be your mentor. Yeah. Maybe not because his haircuts were the best or whatever. I just liked how he was, bro. And then I sat in his chair. I was like, dang, this makes sense. Like, he has conversations with his clients. Like, he asks them about their stuff. So then he's like, oh, man, yeah, bro, you should do it. Like, that'd be so dope. He's like, I even think the owner from here is doing that. Like, he's working with somebody, whatever, Yeah. I was like, dang, that's dope. So we left it at that. So at that point, it was building up to it. There was flames starting in me for that, for the passion, for barbering, for wanting to connect with people in a different way. Mm-hmm. And I've never felt that. I feel like I've gone through life trying to find that part in multiple things, multiple jobs, that I've done or whatever.
Something to excite you.
Yeah. So, yeah, bro. And then I went back a second time. Got a haircut with him again. I think I even got a facial, because I was like, I just want to keep talking to this dude. I want to see what he's about. Yeah, bro. And it was like a pricey, like, all in all, it was a pricey tab. Right. But I saw value in that.
In the connection that you were
in the connection that I was having with him. And yeah, bro, it was a dope dude. He is a dope dude. And then while this was happening, I break my hand. I broke a part of my hand. Yeah, I got in a fight with my brother. And I've never been the type to get physical, bro, because I'm not about that. Yeah. So I've never put my hands on him at this point. And he was acting a little wild, whatever. And, instead of hitting him, I just grabbed him and, like, kind of put him down, So when I put him down, I don't know if I hit the wall or when we fell, like, I hit my hand. Point being, I broke a part of my hand. Right. So I was in a beer can cast for, like, a few months, bro. And I told him, I was like, hey, bro, like, I can't cut hair. all this, what I was trying to navigate my scheduling at CarMax to try to be in, because at this point he already became my mentor. I was getting my hours in. I was going to school, because you go to school once a week.
And halfway through, you broke your fucking hand.
Like in the beginning stages of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I was just starting everything. I was waiting to hear back from the bureau, from the barber bureau, whatever, fucking board of barbering. There you go. Yeah. So when he's like, hey, bro, you need to come in. You need to come in. If this is what you want, you need to show me that this is what you want, because I'm not going to waste my time in having you under my wing and not.
And you're not going to show up.
Yeah, and not going to show up. And he had to talk with me a couple of times. Like, hey, bro, I'm like, dude, you need to understand. Like, I have a job. I need this job, like my CarMax job, to pay for my bills. You know, so he's like, bro, it's either this or you figure it out. So we had this conversation, and then I broke my hand.
Fuck.
Yeah, I messed up my hand, whatever the hell, whatever it was. And I was like, hey, bro, I can't cut. So it was like maybe like 2-3 months went by. I mean, we stayed in contact, but nothing crazy. And I hit him up. I was like, hey, bro, I'm all good. I want to come back, and start working and start putting my hours in again. He's like, hey, you know what, bro? It's not going to work. Like, I'm working with somebody else, blah, blah, blah. So I left it at that.
Right.
So in my head, my dream of barbering stopped. Yeah. So I think at that point, even I wasn't even working at CarMax. I went to work at my new job. I think that's why I hit him up. I was like, hey, bro, I have more time. I'll be able to schedule everything.
Oh, yeah, you moved into the corporate world.
Yeah, I had already moved into the corporate world at this point.
Okay.
So, yeah, man. And then I gave up barbering. I never thought about it again. My freaking box of clippers were all dusty and put away somewhere in the garage.
Wow.
Yeah. And in my head, I thought I had given up on that dream, and I was like, you know what, on to the next. Whatever I find a niche in, I'll do, and that's it. So I was like, fuck it. Threw in the towel for that, and then I got to the corporate world. And, yeah, bro, I was making, like I said, climbed it, started making really good money. I don't know at what point, maybe I was a year in. I don't remember how long I was in there. Before I was like, I had another friend there. And he's like, bro, you should do it. You should do barbering. Like, I showed him a couple pictures. He's like, bro, you can fucking do this. And I've always told him, like, I was never meant to do the normal 9 to 5. Like, I always felt like I have more,
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, you should do it. So I ended up enrolling in barber school.
I'm gonna pause you for a second.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna talk about the fucking the 9 to 5 that you mentioned, bro.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, man, I don't think anybody's built to fucking work the 9 to 5. Like, if you think about your nature, right? Because we're just gonna talk about ourselves. Think about your nature and the amount of thoughts that you have on your 9 to 5. Like all the shit like you're wishing that you could be
it's
doing
all negative.
on your 9 to 5.
It's all negative. It's always been negative for me.
It's either negative or you're just thinking about like, fuck, like once I get out of here, I'm gonna go over there. Or like once my shift is done, I'm gonna go over there. Oh, on my lunch, I'm gonna fucking go and take a breather.
I feel like we wake up and you go to work and you're already thinking about what you're doing when you're off.
I know.
You try to plan your life or your day around when you're off.
I know. And I mean, I can only speak for myself, and then obviously I have your experience, and I know that like that's the way that we think. I don't know if that's the way that everybody thinks.
Yeah.
I imagine, like you said, to some people the 9 to 5 might be a dream. Like a corporate world might be a dream. But
it's security.
It's security. But if I could be honest with like everybody,
yeah,
I don't think the 9 to 5 is meant for like a person, bro. Like I don't think anybody, like the fire that you fucking had when barbering, you can't have that on a 9 to 5 when you're working for somebody else.
Maybe that's why I always pushed it to the side. Well, maybe that's why I never committed to it, because I was so focused on having to keep a job to pay for my bills to eventually maybe get my family off my back or whatever, because just from you and me, we come from Latino parents.
Right.
I'm first generation, so I always told myself, my parents didn't come to this country for me to work and do the exact same thing they're doing. It worked for them.
It's not going to work for us.
It's not going to work for us.
That's
or at least it's not going to work for me. And I talk to myself like that now.
Yeah.
And I told him this, and nah, bro. Like I told him, I was like, I'm not meant to work a 9 to 5. It's not.
It's not in me.
Yeah, and like you said, like it's not for anyone. I don't know if I read the book or it was something that I came up across social media, and they're like, dude, work should not be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It should be you work 3 days out of the week, and the rest of it you plan on what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like now more than ever is when we're realizing that, or at least our generation is, because we were so instilled by our parents, Latino or not Latino.
Do you need
go to
security?
school, you get a good job, you raise a family, and that's it. And you don't bother anybody.
You don't bother anybody. You don't chase no fucking dreams. You don't go and make the millions. You don't go and make the billions, because it's not possible, man. There's somebody out there that's already doing that, and it's not you. You need to be the work. Be you. And it's not going to be you.
You're middle class or whatever class you're in.
Whatever fucking class. And you're meant to stay there. And you're meant to just do this one thing over and over and over for the rest of your life until you die.
And you're taught this from a young age that that's okay.
Yeah,
that's what you're supposed to do. Yep. You're supposed to go to school, get good grades, so you can get a good job, or get into a good school so you can get a good job, so that you have a 401k, so you have medical insurance. That's what life is, at least from what my parents explained to me or proven to me.
And I would have to agree with you, bro.
And it's no, bro. It's not a thing. Like, I feel like, see, we can have these conversations, and if we had someone in here that had a 9 to 5 and was like, hey, bro, always looking at the other, I need to go. I gotta go. Like, I have work, or I have to be back for lunch. Yeah. Before my lunch is over, because I need to clock in. Like, bro, do you realize, like, living like this, what it causes inside of you, how you reflect your relationship with people? It's crazy, bro. Like, it's a whole psychological thing.
It's like melting, bro. Like, you become a melting pot of emotions. Like, you never have. There's something that happens inside of you when you're passionate about something. Yeah. Right. Like you, the fire for barbering. When you become passionate about something, you want to do shit. Yeah. Like, you want to get up in the morning and fucking do it. Yeah. And not just that, but then you haven't, because you're content doing this one thing. You want to go and do other shit. Yeah. You want to go and achieve. I want to fucking start a coffee shop. Cool. How am I going to do that? Let me fucking get the money together to go get the money. But if you're a 9 to 5 and you're just like sitting there uncomfortable all the time, knowing that you have the security, bro, that thought of the coffee shop, fucking, it comes and it fucking goes. Yes. You don't give it any fucking thought.
If it comes, right, it gets planted in your head and you're like, dude, this would be so dope. Like, but then you refrain back to, nah, I need to work. When am I going to give my time, or when am I going to give my dream time? Like, you know, we work a 9 to 5. You work 8 hours for who, your manager, your boss, whatever, the person that owns that building or that company. Right. When do you go home and work on your dreams? You don't, because you don't, because you don't have energy. You're so fed up with all the bullshit that you dealt with at work and your coworkers and trying to please your managers so that they look good and they get the praise and you don't. And then you come home and work on what? Do you read?
Fuck no.
All you do is go on social media and look at other people's lifestyles, and you're like, fuck, I wish I had that. Right. But you're never gonna achieve it. You're never gonna achieve that coffee shop because you don't have the freedom in your mind. To fucking do something for yourself.
To even continue to think about it.
Dude,
I know.
It's fucking deep, man.
It is wild, dude. It is wild, and it's like a little parasite that has just become so acceptable. But I do agree with you that generation current and maybe it's the amount of exposure that we have to like social media. Yeah. Because the social media age is it allows you to see through somebody else's eyes. Like, you could see their lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And then TikTok's fucking wild, bro. Like, I follow this one TikTok real estate person, and he breaks down all of his accounts and all of his mortgages and everything, and he puts the amount of money that he clears. And and it just makes sense, right? But if you don't ever have that perspective, and I mean, quite honestly, my parents were not ever going to give me that perspective. Mm-hmm. I don't know if your parents were, but I can't imagine that they were. And I feel like that like just makes you realize like, oh shit, it's not that far. It's really not that far. Like, I can do it too. So for the first time ever, maybe our generation is just kind of opening up their eyes. And I really hope that everybody.
I hope everyone says, not fuck you to your parents, but in a sense, say fuck you to the way that you think life should be, and don't go with it. I feel like that's maybe a piece of advice.
I agree.
You know, you have to be put in uncomfortable situations. You have to, I feel like I always say this. You have to be uncomfortable being uncomfortable, because that's the only. You have to be
comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the only way you're gonna grow, and that's something I tell myself on a weekly basis. Fuck. Yeah, because I was comfortable, bro. I'm telling you, I was making good money. Everything was solid, but I've always been the type to shake shit up. Like, when I get comfortable or something, I leave. I quit my job and I leave. and I go start another one because I like that feeling of like starting over. I like that excitement, that push to do something.
Fuck no, bro.
Yeah.
I'm quite honestly, I'm the opposite, and I value that about you. I've told you this before.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite, man. I'm becoming that, and I see the value in it, and now I'm going down fucking rabbit holes that explain the whole reasoning on why you don't want to be uncomfortable. So your brain is constantly trying to keep you alive so that you can stay comfortable because it doesn't fucking want you to do anything else. But that level of discomfort, it's not just the push and the feeling, but psychologically you are doing something to yourself. And it's deep. It's fucking deep. But psychologically you're actually putting yourself in a situation that pushes you to be better.
I feel, yeah.
No, well, believe I'm telling you.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't know, man. I wish everyone would think like this. But right. I get it. Situations vary and life situations come in the way, and, you know, it doesn't allow everyone to think like this.
Right.
But I hope everyone at one point will think like this.
Right.
You know, not to be scared or to feel like you have to do what your parents told you to, or the people that are talking to you, like the people that are around your circle. You hear this time and time again. You know, like, who you surround yourself with is who you become. You're going to, you know, you have 5 dumb friends, you're going to be the 6th one. It's true, bro.
It's funny because that's hilarious.
It's fucking true.
But it is true. No, you're absolutely right.
And I catch myself even days like this, bro. Like, not like today, but like, well, yeah, because I'm surrounding myself around someone that wants to do something. And I'm like, fuck, I want to be a part of that. That was my exact thought process, bro. Like, I know it took us a while to kind of get it all scheduled in and shit happened, but I'm like this, you know, when you hit me up, I was like, damn, like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I've never been on one of these before. Like, how does this work, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't do my research. I didn't, you know, look at people and how they talk on podcasts and how they stand. And like, bro, like I told you, I was like, I just want this to be organic, bro, and talk how we talk. Because people can relate to shit like this. Right. I'm sure they're in a job right now working where they're not happy.
Right.
And they want to do more, and they feel like they're more... They can add value to this world. I feel like that's what we need. Value. People need to add value, and people need to be nice. Right. You know? I'm not the nicest every day, but...
Dude, fuck it. I mean...
We're human, bro. We're supposed to make mistakes. We're supposed to make mistakes so we can ask for forgiveness. And when you do that, you give a part of yourself to whatever you believe, you know, whoever you believe. But that's what makes you grow.
It brings you purpose.
And it just levels you out again. You know, like, fuck, like, I fucked up. It's like when a toddler drops something. You're like, no, it's okay. But then if you see a parent like, oh, why'd you drop that? Why'd you do this? Like, it traumatizes them, bro. Mm-hmm. So you need to treat yourself better. You need to talk to yourself better. So when you tell yourself, like, oh, I need to go to this job. Like, yeah, go to that job. Do what you need to do. Pay your bills.
Right.
But go home and work on yourself.
Recognize that you have a bigger purpose.
You know, yeah.
That you can have a bigger purpose. Because even if you don't see it now, you can definitely add value to this world. And even if you end up deciding that you want to do the 9 to 5 forever, at least love your fucking job.
Yeah.
Like, go in there and tell yourself that you love this fucking job and actually love it.
Well, what do they say? I've said it to myself, and I've said it to multiple of my clients before. I'm like, dude, like, because they're asking, like, how's today? You know, how you doing? How you feeling? And I'm like, dude, honestly, I feel fucking great. Because I love what I do. And another cliche.
Right.
If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Right? Do you love what you do? And I know we had this conversation a couple weeks ago when you're like, dude, like, I think I'm going to do it. I'm getting to that point where...
If you loved it before, you don't love it. You can't love it forever.
Yeah.
And then a lot of... Well, I personally, I see a 9 to 5 as at the beginning stages of you going and chasing your dream.
It's going to fund your dream.
It's going to fund your dream.
Yeah, no.
But as long as you continue to keep that thought in your head, like, this isn't my forever. Mm-hmm. Like, this is just going to be the funding stages of my actual dream. Yeah. And if that's the way that I always saw my 9 to 5, and now I see other routes, and, you know, we spoke about this. I'm not comfortable speaking about it publicly yet. Yeah. But you're right, bro. Like, I mean, as long as you fucking just do what you love, and if you don't love it, get the fuck out.
You know why I've noticed this? Or why did I notice this? Because I would see my mom. My mom worked for Disneyland for like, I don't know, like 23 years. 23, 24, I don't know, I remember. 23, a good amount of time for Disneyland.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. And she would work Tuesday to Saturday, 4 a.m. to like 1:30. Or like 1.
Good schedule.
Good schedule. But she did that so that
she could pick
she
you
can
up.
take her, you know, take care of me and my brother. But, you know, my parents are married. So I saw my mom and she was just like, she hated what she did at this point. I'm like, dude, after 23 years, I'm sure I would hate cutting hair too. Right. I'm not going to lie to you, you know? And I feel like that's when I realized, like, our parents aren't happy. Our parents do what they do. And I've had this conversation with my mom because they put the selfishness around apart from them to take care of what they need to take care of. You know, and that's something that I praise Latino parents about because they'll fucking work 2-3 jobs just to think that's done. Normal. I know, we think that's normal. I thought that was normal. I had 2-3 jobs at some point too, bro, and I thought that was normal. And I saw my mom and I was like, she's like, I'm tired. I don't want to go to work. And I was like, fuck, that broke me, bro. And I feel like that's what clicked. It clicked in me, and I'm like, no one should feel like this. Not even our parents, that they're so accustomed to, and it worked for them because it did. They were able to purchase a home. They were able to purchase cars. Me and my brother never needed anything. Right. You know, I didn't grow up. I wouldn't say I grew up poor or anything. Like, I felt like I had everything I needed when I needed it. Right. And that's when I noticed when my mom was like, I don't want to go to work today. And I was like, fuck.
For the first time ever, you heard your mom say that.
And maybe she said it prior, and I wasn't in the state of mind that I was at that point in my life where I understood it. And I was like, damn, I feel like that too. I was like, so that's normal to feel that? To feel that my whole damn, like, young adult life? Right. If I feel this now, my mom still feels it. My mom's 58, bro, and she still felt, at that point she was maybe like 56, but she still felt that. And to her, that's normal. Like, I have to get up. And I told her one day, and I was like, Mom, me and my brother, we're grown up. We're grown.
You don't need to work first.
What are you working for? Right. I mean, I get it. You know, they have their little bills or whatever. They have their house, their mortgage, their cars. Right. But I was like, we don't have kids. Me and my brother, we don't have kids. You know, I'm 27. He's 32. We don't have kids. And we don't need anything. Like, what are you still working as much as you're working? Get a little part-time job just so you're not bored. Right. She has a jardín, a garden, and that's what she likes to do. She's out there every morning watering her plants, picking the weeds. That's what calms her down. And when I would see this stuff that she would do on Sundays and Mondays, because she was off Sunday and Monday. Right. And then, you know, she's like, I don't want to work no more. And I looked at her and I was like, you don't have to work. What are you working for? And I was like, I dare you to quit. I was like, you don't fucking need it. And I kept pushing her for months. I was like, you don't need to do this. What are you working for? My dad works. He makes more than enough money for you and him. You know, their mortgage is not a lot. They bought their house in 99, bro. Like, yeah. What are you working for? And she finally quit. She retired, bro.